1,000 miles in 24 hours to get to Maine. Sunday morning, I left Maine at 5:30 a.m., got to New Jersey at 5:30 p.m., and then I made it back to Ohio the next morning only to long enough to take a shower, to shave and pack a bag and unpack my car of all the stuff that I brought from Maine, and then make it out to Coach Dave's house so that Lowell and Coach Dave and I could get on the road and head to DC. And so that's where we're at now. So I was able to sleep most of the way yesterday and sleep well last night. I felt kind of bad. Coach Dave slept on the floor because he brought an air mattress and he didn't bring an air pump. And so he just he wanted to sleep on the floor. And he wanted to sleep on the floor. I guess that was easier than sleeping with me.
No, no room.
There was no room at the end. So we're on our way to SCOTUS, and I think I was thinking about just really just talking about exactly what that decision did to help cripple this nation, because it truly has crippled this nation, along with many other decisions that have been made, for the abortion movement, for the LGBT movement has a hand in everybody's cookie jar, and nobody quite sees or cares. And so I wonder what exactly is same-sex marriage. It doesn't exist, and if it doesn't exist in God, hold on, uh, feedback on my phone. It just keeps popping up.
Consummate the marriage.
Yeah, there's no way to consummate the marriage. I mean, you know, we know that sodomy is a crime against nature. Why? But it's that way for a man or a woman. I mean, a man or a man and a woman, because women can't unless they use something. I don't want to go there, but it's a crime against nature because you are putting your reproductive organ into the sewage of another person when your only purpose for even engaging in that type of activity is to procreate, is to create life. And you create nothing in somebody's anal cavity but death. And that's exactly what you create there. So, in thinking about that and thinking about the speaker there and maybe the protesters that are going to be there today, I wonder, what do they really think when they see these people coming out of homosexuality? Because one of the Supreme Court judges mutable. Well, that's not true, because we know that with our God, anything is that anything is that God is capable of anything. Anything is possible with our God. And so, and I know for me through life that, yeah, when I first came out, I started gay, y'all. I am gay. I'm an ex-homosexual. And that covers the tranny, and that covers all the other nonsense that happens. So my phone keeps trying to maybe it's a Washington D.C. thing. My phone keeps trying to send me over to Google. Google's asking me what do I need. So there is nothing. Okay, and I want everyone understood. I am not an ex-gay. okay? And the ex-gay movement only has pants. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. So see, it keeps popping. It's a movement. I don't care about Google. I'm telling you, it's a DC thing. It has something to do with them. With DC. The internet connection is not stable. And something that says up in the corner something about this crazy. All right, I want people to. This is not the reason that this quote ex-gay movement has such a foot and such a hold in society. It is a movement of God. There's no such thing as being ex-gay unless you are of this world. So we have all these men that, yeah, some of them may even be free from the homosexual spirit. But I guarantee you, and I know for a fact because I can look at them and speak with them, that they are still in bondage to the effeminate spirit, to the spirit of this culture. You know, men do not wear women's pants. Men do not act like women. Men do not get up on stage and say, and my wife is fabulous, y'all. Her hair men don't do that. And if they do say that their wife is fabulous, they don't sit there and wave their finger. It says that my internet connection is not reliable at the moment. All right. Oh my goodness. And Google keeps trying to pop up. This connection isn't stable right now. Keeps the volume on my phone and by itself. All right, Coach, can you log in to alphabetmanlive.com? Because my phone is going haywire right now. This internet connection is dash that connection is not right, and my volume on crazy. All right, so guys, tell me what you think about that. While you're telling me what you think about what this same-sex marriage is, and I can't even, I hate using it. It's like saying gay preacher or transgender pastor. It's ridiculous. They don't even go together. Why do we use words? But while you just tell me what you think about that, I'm going to switch over to a different phone.
Yeah, well, David, right? I mean, they've got the biggest deception they've done is they've got us believing in something that it's non-existent. It doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. You know, it's like they're saying gravity is actually floating. You know, gravity is when you actually are floating into the atmosphere. That's gravity. They've reversed God's laws. They've reversed common sense. And that's, I mean, how what do we do about it? You know, what do we do? How do you reassert common sense? That's my question. So how do we... I don't know. I'm trying not to let dead air happen. Come on, guys. You got to hook me up here. Does anybody else have an opinion on the same-sex marriage issue? So let's see. What happened? 3 years ago, we had the Supreme Court. Everybody's in D.C. They're doing a press conference today because 3 years ago, our Supreme Court said that a man and a man is a marriage. They said they've compared marriage to a sin. So what is marriage? And what is the purpose of marriage? And like David Arthur said, the purpose of a marriage is what? It's not your pleasure. The purpose of marriage isn't for you just to have fun for the rest of your life, which I think we actually have been deceived into a lot. It's not about pleasure. It's about life.
And you know what, Jared? That's the whole thing. Marriage was created for us, for a man and woman, so that they could create life. So let's look at real quick, because we did go over this already last week, but let's look at one flesh. Let's look what the word says. The word says that man and woman become one flesh. Why? Because the woman was taken from man. And so in order for a couple to become one flesh, it has to be one man and one woman, because two ribs cannot become one flesh, y'all. And then two men without the rib cannot become one flesh. The rib has to be joined back to its rightful place in order for it to become one flesh. I mean, that's the most obvious part that I get when I read Genesis, is that the rib has to be returned to its rightful place in order for them to become one flesh. So when you have two women, what do you have? You have two ribs. When you have two men, you have two men missing that part of them. They can't be, you can't have, a man can't be a rib. And that's the basic, that's the truth, that's real. So when we sit there and we're talking about what marriage is, then guess what? That's what marriage is, exactly what God said it is. The same way that heterosexuality is our absolute only design, that homosexuality does not exist as an orientation, because God designed us heterosexual. So they didn't have to talk about heterosexual versus homosexual in the Bible. No, they talked about homosexuality as a sin, because there was never anything to talk about heterosexuality, because it was that way from the beginning. One man, one woman. That's the definition of heterosexuality. So we are designed that way. So when a homosexual says to me, well, what am I supposed to become? Heterosexual? Well, you already are a heterosexual. You were designed that way. And being designed that way, what you have to do now is embrace your design, discover who you did, and stop embracing the lust of your flesh and sin and temptation and this world and the enemy. That's it. So how are we going to do that? We rediscover who we were created to be in Jesus Christ. There's so much more to being than just saying, well, I'm an ex this or once an addict, always an addict, right? That's garbage. That's just as much garbage as anything. If you are washed clean, then you are not a then you are not a drug addict. If you're washed clean, you are not a homosexual. Okay, there's this other Peter LaBarber brought to my attention this revoice. This revoice is are Christians. Well, and I say that with the quotations around it, but they believe that they can be Christian, they can identify as homosexual, and not act on their temptations. not actually commit the sexual act, but still if you identify as sin, then you might as well just go out there and commit the sexual act, because it's no different. Because you're not identifying with who you were created to be in Jesus. Do you think that, see, Jesus, he was tempted in all the same things that we're tempted in and overcame? Do you not think that, could you see Jesus identifying as a homosexual, but just saying, I'm just not going to have butt sex or anal sex? Sorry. But, I mean, no. And you know why? Because Jesus would never identify as something that is unpleasing and unacceptable unto the Lord. So when you say, I'm not going to commit the act, but I'm going to identify as an abomination, then what does that make you? It makes you an abomination. So you might as well go out there and act on your feelings or your emotions, because it's not going to be any different for you in that day of judgment. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I lost you.
It says in Romans 1, sorry, David,
Okay.
receiving in themselves the due punishment for that which was meet.
Mm-hmm.
So the that is the judgment, receiving in themselves the due punishment. And so they identify as that because that's the judgment. That's the punishment. And so they want to say that they're X, but, well, still have those feelings, but aren't acting upon them. They don't understand. As you said, they've been washed, they've been cleaned, they've been sanctified, right?
They
You're
don't
not X. Never were.
Yeah. They don't get that. They don't understand that, because it doesn't appease their emotions or their thoughts. You know, once again, that intellectual and emotional faith. It's a dead faith and a demonic faith. Without the will to carry on and to learn who you were created to be, to discover or rediscover who you were created to be in Jesus, you don't have that. And in Romans 1 tells us the three God also gives us up. That God also gives us up. So you can't also give somebody up to something unless they've already given themselves up to it. So God also gives us up to it. So when he also gives us up to it, then we have another choice to make. Are we going to go deeper and darker into that sin like I did? Or are we going to turn from our wicked ways? No, I went deeper and darker, and then he gave me up to the vile affections and to all uncleanness. And when he did that, that's when I hit rock bottom. See, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness. Go back up. Right. Okay. So the first strike is God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshipped and served the creature much more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. That is, see, first he also gave us up because we gave ourselves up to it. Then we go deeper and darker. So go back right there, verse 25, who changed the truth of God into a lie.
And then for that cause.
Yeah, for that cause, because we go darker and we change the truth of God for a lie, because we say, well, they're born that way. God created them that way, that men and men can engage in this activity, and it's okay because they love each other, and love trumps all, because we changed the truth of God and we worship and serve the creature more than the creator, for that the vile affections. And so then for even the women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, and likewise, and this was the life-changing, life-altering, impactful verse for me was, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And then, even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. So we had strike 2. Here's strike 3, folks. If I would have remained in that darkness, strike 3. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient. Reprobate mind, folks. Void of judgment. Literally, it means spiritually worthless. So once you're given over to a reprobate mind, that's when you're actually hopeless, because there's no more hope. You are given up. You are void of judgment. You are done. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud. We see pride everywhere we turn in that rainbow flag. Boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they that commits these things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So, folks, it doesn't matter. So there you go right there. You're either going to commit homosexuality or you're going to identify as a homosexual. But whatever you choose, know that you cannot be a child of God in either of those decisions.
Can you commit a homosexual act without being a homosexual? And the answer to that would be yes, you can. It's the homosexual act that would identify you as a homosexual, right? Mm-hmm. So a heterosexual man could have sex with a man and not be a homosexual. If I understand it right, David. Yes?
Well, I can't agree with that, Coach, because all men are heterosexual. Right. All homosexuals are heterosexual. All liars are heterosexual. All murderers are heterosexual. So we're all heterosexual.
So the act does not make you a homosexual. It is a homosexual act.
Right. Just like lying makes someone a liar.
Right.
The act of homosexuality makes them homosexual, but it's not an orientation.
You can be a man, be married to a woman, and have sexual relationships with a man. Does that make you a homosexual? No. It's an act.
It's sin. And so whatever the sin is, whatever sin that you're committing, that is what you become. But what we have to understand is that heterosexual is our absolute only design. There is no other orientation outside of being heterosexual. None. Anything else is a sin. It's just like if you are a man, then you are created a heterosexual man. So being created and designed a heterosexual man means that when you lie, you're a liar. When you commit the sin of homosexuality, you're a homosexual. When you murder someone, you're a murderer. And so I want us to understand that it's so important that we do, because if we keep identifying as sin, then I'm telling you, folks, that road leads to eternal damnation. This revoice are people who call themselves pastors and Christians, and they're actually identifying as homosexuals and Christians, supporting, encouraging, and empowering gay, lesbian, same-sex attracted, and other LGBT Christians so they can flourish while observing the historic Christian doctrine of marriage and sexuality. They teach that if you can be, they're teaching women that they can be a lesbian but marry a man and have children, but still identify as a lesbian and just not act on it. And that's garbage. That's garbage. That's the most love. Yes, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, well, even in the statement, right? Supporting, encouraging, and empowering, quote unquote, gay, lesbian, same-sex attracted, other LGBT Christians so they can flourish while observing the right. There's the lie. You can't observe the historic Christian doctrine of marriage and sexuality if you are LGBT, whatever. I mean, you can't. It's a complete lie. That whole statement is a lie. The whole thing.
And it faces you with the biggest lie: LGBT Christians. It's telling you that it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's telling you it's a thing. You can be an LGBT Christian. And then, so that's what that statement is telling you right there. And it's the first thing you read on their website.
Yep.
It's telling you that there are LGBT Christians, and there are not LGBT Christians. We are just getting over here to John's Truth Truck. Ron's Truth Truck. Ron Brock. And because he can't bring the truth truck, I'm actually going to get out and maybe get a picture of this. And so he can't bring the truth truck out to he can't bring the truth truck outside the Supreme Court. But what we can do is bring some of the signs out to the Supreme Court with us today. And you know, I'm really amazed right now. I'm looking at, I've probably just seen maybe, let's say 30 different men out here. And the majority of the men out here are feminine. They're wearing skinny jeans and they're not even, sometimes they're not even jeans. They're not even the jeans. So they're not even jeans. They're skin tight, even dress pants. And so what we're seeing out here is all types of just ignorance, you know. It's like there's somebody on the corner right now. He's videotaping me talking about, you know, cussing. And I mean, it's you can just feel the love out here, you know. You could just feel the love, you know. So it's, man, it's crazy. So. Oh, now he's talking about nobody loves God. So, yeah, he probably would try. So, yeah, yeah. So, oh, black flag. Oh, Antifa. He's talking about Antifa is coming. Antifa is coming. How about this? Oh, Black Lives. Black Lives, Antifa, and wow. Again, he's saying Antifa's coming and Black Lives Matter. I don't even think them two groups agree. But he's a foreigner. He's like Arab or something, so he's probably just basically Muslim. And so that's where we're talking about. We're talking about Muslims. So he was a Muslim talking about Antifa and Black Lives Matter. So it just shows you not only that. No, Coach, I can sit in the back. All right, so I'm gonna ride. All right, so we are on our way to the Supreme Court, gentlemen. Good afternoon, John. Good morning. How are you? Amen. Amen. So, guys, like what we just saw from that man right there. That man was talking about, first he was Arab or Saudi Arabian or something, and he's talking about there's no love here.
Muslim, right? He was a Muslim.
Yeah, he was a Muslim talking about F God. But then he wanted to talk about Antifa and Black Lives Matter are coming, and then the black flag. I mean, I don't even think Antifa and Black Lives Matter they agree.
No.
So the confusion, you see the confusion.
Realize you make a right hand turn here to go in.
Yeah.
He says you can turn right.
Well, yeah. How do we get the courage? How can we get the courage as Christians to say, look at these people, they're so freaking dumb. Like they have no foundation. They're just saying words and they're puking words at us and we shut up. How stupid are we?
He's screaming Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and he's a Muslim. He doesn't have any clue on what he's even talking about, but because he's dropping F-bomb after F-bomb, there's going to be people that standing around that agree with him. That's the only reason. And you see right here, we have the legendary Ron Brock.
Truth Truck Ron.
And Coach Dave. And Lo is driving us faithfully through DC, which I'd have to take a cab. We're moments from the Supreme Court. And so when we get out there, we're definitely going to try to grab an interview with somebody that's out there. And so you know what, guys? What is it? What does all that mean? What we just saw on the corner? I mean, he was picking up rocks like he was going to throw rocks. He was picking up gravel underneath the bench and he did throw some at the truth truck. But I mean, what was that all about?
Well, that's why I spoke up, because I thought he was going to throw stuff at the truck.
He did. He threw that handful of gravel that he picked up. I mean, but that was just dumb. Go ahead, Jared.
Free speech capital of the world.
What do you want to bet that he's a paid George Soros protester? This is Chris, by the way. I'm praying for you guys.
Hey, Chris. You know what? I wouldn't even say that he was
he's a child of the devil.
Yeah. He was like straight up a God-hating, America-hating child of the devil. But where is he at? And where does he have the right to walk down the street and voice that hatred? He's still in America, right?
No, right, but he will.
That's right.
And we'll deal with the vandalism.
Wow. I'm telling you, it's mind-boggling. There's the Supreme Court.
Can you pull over here and let us know? There's something going on here.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Pull on up to the front and I'll let you guys out.
All right, I'm gonna grab my phone and my book bag out of here, and we are going to see if we can get an interview. And Jared, where am I at on time? Okay, all right. I'm gonna leave my headphones here. Oh man, nothing like going live. Nothing like going live. I think it's all part of the excitement of it too.
Dave, do you want to get a picture of this crowd? There's already a crowd gathered. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's already a crowd gathered here, guys. I don't know. Is this your bag, Coach?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch the camera view.
Is this yours, Rob?
All right, so let me hold on one second. I just gotta.
I'll talk to him for a second. I'll talk to y'all for a second right now. It's facing the other direction. I assume. I don't know why all these people are here. Maybe there's some decisions coming down today that we're not aware of. Of course, we're having a press conference. It would seem to me that they're expecting a decision. They're expecting a decision here today for sure because the media's out here. Got all the media down there. Got the media over here.
All right, guys. This is I don't know what they're all here for, but let's hope. Yeah. You know what? Let's ask them. Let's see what they're all here for. I'm sure I see a lot of purple shirts. So, my body, my choice. My body, my choice. So I think they know. I think they know that that there's something getting ready to go on today. So that's what they're here for. My body, my choice. Pro freedom. I wish they really knew what freedom was. Oh, how sad. All right, I'm going to be giving out some books today. Lord willing. Wow. Pro-choice. Girls support girls. Wow. Oh, man, guys. There's that oppression where it gets like kind of hard to breathe. So let's look and see what we got here. So we're out here. Can I switch that camera?
Never been here, David?
No.
Never been to SCOTUS. Well, this is it. This is the place from hell. This is where judicial tyranny begins. This is the birthplace of it, right behind us. And if we could take you inside of it, sitting right on top of it is Moses, the Ten Commandments at the very top of the building.
Let me see if I can switch the camera again.
It'd be hard for the people to see anyway.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And this is the one place in Washington, D.C. Prayer is illegal. You cannot pray on the steps of the United States Supreme Court. They'll come
Really?
after you. Yes.
Wow. I would have had no idea. How about that? The only place in the U.S. that prayer is illegal. So I see who's out here just by their shirts. My body, my choice.
Right.
So we have a bunch of sodomy, homosexual, loving, sin-loving, just nonsense. It's the only pro-freedom that they would ever know is if they actually found Jesus and found what freedom really meant. So, oh Lord, you can't force vegetarian to promote meat. I can't even read that sign. Meat eating. Okay, pro-life. Oh, okay, this is the side we want to be on. Life counts. Life matters. Amen. Life matters. Yes. Life begins when, people? At conception. At that moment of conception is when life begins. Hallelujah. So, I don't know where our group is all at. But I know I'm on the right side of the group right now because I can breathe better. Jared, where we at on time? Okay. Trying to see if there's somebody I can grab an interview with. I'm sure there is. Let me try to get over here and see if I can talk to one of these pro-lifers. Yeah. Hold on, maybe I can get a quick word here. How you doing? My name is David Arthur, and I do a show, a live broadcast 5 days a week through my website, alphabetmanlive.com. I'm 30 plus years mixed up in the LGBT darkness. Come out of that, and now I advocate for anything that's pro-life. So here I am. We're on the air. Like my last 15 minutes. Your name?
My name is Lori Cassio.
Lori Cassio. What is going on out here right now?
Yeah, so I work for Students for Life of America. So I'm here, and a couple of students are on their way.
Okay,
Is it working out?
Yep.
And we have a Supreme Court case that hopefully is coming out today. I've been here almost all month, almost every day. This could possibly come out, and we hope today's the day. So we're here for Nipple versus Becerra, and it's a case that forces pregnancy centers to put signs up to advertise for abortion. And obviously these places are pro-life. They're funded by people who support the pro-life movement, who give to them. They're a charity. They support women for free, give free baby clothes and diapers, and just help these women through what they're going through. So these centers are forced to put up a sign that's against their beliefs, also against their free speech.
So let me ask you this. So do the abortion mills, are they forced to put up alternative signs so their mothers will know?
But they are not.
But they're not, right. But see, they want, the right that they want to silence you is the same right that they want to speak out against you, kind of situation, same thing. I've dealt with it.
It's very one-sided.
Yeah, I dealt with it for the last 8 years since I've been free from that darkness. But yeah, so this case has to do with not being forced to put up signs to promote abortion.
Correct.
But the abortion mills won't put up signs to not promote abortion. Wow.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to give you a book, one of my books. Yeah, very small. So guys, what we have here, the groups are out here. And of course, the loudest one out here right now is always going to be the opposite. The opposition is always loudest. That's why the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and they understand that. Thank you so much. God bless you. Nice meeting you. So what did we just learn? So they're all out here because of the case that's going to be handed down today. They're hoping for the good decision. So let me see if I can switch the camera again. All right, can you see me? All right, so the case, basically what I heard in talking to her was the pro-abortion, the baby murderers, they want the clinics that aren't pro-abortion to be forced to put up signs giving people information about abortion when it's against their beliefs. However, the abortion mills, they're not putting up any signs in their clinics, which actually is not a clinic, it's just a abortion mill. They won't put up any signs to let anybody know that there's another way other than abortion. So once again, you see the special rights for them. They want to use the same right that the LGBT movement demands that to silence us is the same right that they attempt to use so that they can speak out against us, but we can't speak out against them. And so as you could hear while I was trying to talk to that young lady, the loudest people out here are the opposition, because they know, and it's something that we better start paying attention to, folks, because what's going on right now is we see that they are organized. They are not split. They don't speak out against each other. And that's why they're so effective. and they make such an impact. That's why they make an impact.
Well, David, and with that, with the abortion, what you're illustrating with the abortion thing is this is once again right. How are we so dumb to realize over and over and over again, decade after decade, how they say, listen, it's about equality. We just want the same rights. We just want the same thing that you've got, and yet every time it happens, the same rules don't apply to us and them.
Well,
they take more, and we get shut into a box further every single time, over and over and over again, and we never say anything. We've got to start. We've got to wake up. Any people here in the show could be there with you doing the same thing.
Absolutely, they sure could. Because, and that's why Coach announced it, and that's why I announced it, that we know that we would be out here. Because getting here, I didn't know that any of this was even going to be here. So what this is for, Coach, and do a little quickie with Coach Dave before we go off air. But what this is all about is the case that's getting handed down today is going to allow the pro-life clinics that are trying to help women not have to put up signs that they should abort their children or can abort their children. So, like, what you see is they want, but they're not going to put up any signs in their abortion mills that tell us that you don't have to have an abortion.
So it's always a one-way street. They want to force their morality on us, right? They want to play by two same sets of rules. Now, Supreme Court's supposed to be just. Right, they're supposed to be just. First of all, it's none of their business. None of their business what an individual company like that does. But what we see here is the left is never content with liberty. They're always trying to force you to comply with what they want to do. They don't believe in individual liberty. And because the leftists lean to the Supreme Court, that's why we're in the mess that we're in. See, they like to say that conservatives are the ones who want to control people's lives. It's just not true. It's just not true. See, the whole abortion debate isn't about a woman's right to choose. It's about a baby's right to live.
Yeah. Amen. And so what you see is what? You see that if you don't agree with the left, then then you're wrong. If you agree with them, you're right. And so that's where the split is. And I let everybody know, I am not liberal. I'm not conservative. I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not a Republican. I'm a Christian. And so there are going to be issues that I am liberal on. There's going to be issues that I'm conservative on. And so that is how we should all see things. If we call ourselves a man or a woman of God, then we had better see things through God's lens, because this is just ridiculous. They want to force their signs into clinics that want to help women, but they won't. They're not for choice. Yeah, they're not for choice. It's their way or no way. They're not for choice, and that's important. So, Jared, where are we at on time? All right, so. Look at this nonsense. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
And they're all young. All young.
Yeah, look how young they are. Look at these young girls that want to murder babies. It's ridiculous. All women, regardless of income or location, should be able to access the pregnancy care they choose. There's no pregnancy care in death. Because what a lot of them women don't realize is whether they go into that abortion mill a mother, they come out a mother, but they come out a mother that's murdered their baby. So they're still a mother. And I would love to see them stand there with signs that say, even if you end the life of your baby, they should let them know that they're still going to be a mother. They're still a mother. They think if they get rid of the baby, they get rid of their parental rights. But they don't, because all they did was murder their baby. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, anybody that I know that calls themselves a mother would put their baby's life before them. And so, and if they don't want to have babies, then maybe they should stop laying down and trying to make babies. Wouldn't that solve it all? Wouldn't it solve it? If you're going to kill the baby, then how about you don't lay down and try to make the baby? You know, I mean, how if you, that's perfect. That's going to be my thing for today, is if you want to be able to murder your baby, then maybe you shouldn't lay down and make babies. Lord have mercy. Oh, goodness.
So David, do you think it's because they don't have access to the pill? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
No, it's because they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's because they don't care, because they know that they have the right to choose. They can go down there and kill the baby if they create a baby.
That's right. I saw this at the Million Lesbian March a year ago, Inauguration Day. I saw this, that the pro-choice movement is really nothing more than this. It's women want to have the right to be able to have sex without any consequences, just like men do. That's really what it's about.
Amen.
They want to be able to fornicate and not have to raise the baby, just like men. So the pro-life movement, the pro-abortion movement, they've done it to themselves. Women liberation told men it's none of your business. So men say, hey, it's none of my business, it's your choice.
Yep.
So therefore the woman now realizes that she's the one that has to pay the consequences for having sex. And she doesn't want to do that. So she wants to enjoy sex and not have the consequences, just like the men do.
Amen.
They've created
Because it's what? Because it all takes us back to satisfying the lusts of our flesh. So when we satisfy the lusts of our flesh, we have consequences. And so what these women and what these people are standing for is they're telling people that they can go out and engage in sexual activity with whoever, wherever, however they want, and they don't have any consequences because they can murder their baby, the life that they create. They can take that life. I just desire that they would come out here with a sign that would say, hey, guess what, everybody? Even though we're standing here so you can murder your baby, you're still going to be a mother. You're just going to be a mother who murdered her baby. Lord have mercy. Y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for joining me today. And I will see you all tomorrow morning from home in the studio. God bless you all. I love you all. Peace.